Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much everybody for coming back to my channel. Thank you to everybody who's listening in the podcast. Today is August 14, 2024. Today is Wednesday. I wanted to come here and speak about this, but before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new YouTube subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And thank you to everybody who's listening in the podcast, whatever platform you're listening to, whether Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and any other platforms that you get this podcast from. I want to encourage you to please follow me. That really helps me as a creator. And also, if you want to know more about me and the collection for Julissa Designs, you can visit julissadesigns.com. And if you want to take a look at the blog, you can always visit www.julissadesigns.blog. Excuse me. I always forget to say that, but I do appreciate everybody who comes and subscribes and listens to my channel and whoever listens in the podcast. Before I continue, guys, I think I had said in previous videos about how it takes just one human error for somebody's life to be impacted dramatically, or for all their life here on this earth, right? Because this is why you always have to do a good job. The Bible says you have to work as though you're doing it for the Lord and put some type of effort. What I noticed, in the past few years, you can tell the careless of people when they're working. Everybody's just working just to get that paycheck, and that's basically it. We hear cases from nurses who administer their own medication to patients and things like that, and that person ends up losing their life. It could be so many things, going to the mechanic and them doing their own job, and you can get into an accident and something happens to you, impacted. They can permanently impact your life. One human error, and like I said yesterday in my previous video, we all need each other. Everybody learns their trade, and everybody learns a different trade, so we can help each other and basically live in this rotating earth, right? That's why you always have to be. You always have to be nice to people. There's no need to be like, rude, because that person that you're being rude to, you might need them. They could be like the doctor. They might work at the doctor's office that you go to. They might be the pharmacist. They might be the cashier at the grocery store. Like, we all need each other, but it takes just one human error, somebody not doing their job right, for your life to be impacted permanently. And it's just crazy. But, it seems as though, I also mentioned this, everybody owns a business, everybody has a 500 Fortune company, because everybody's always on their phone, right? Like, how many times do you have to check your email? How many times you have to check if somebody like a post that you did or something? Like, it's so crazy. People want to, you see it in places that you go to. They say, how can I help you? And then they take your order or whatever, and immediately, like, immediately they take your information. They're on their phones, like checking on their phones. It's like we become so addictive, right, to our phones. I do include myself in there too. And sometimes, they might be helping you and they're looking down at their phone. It's this addiction that is crazy, and we all need to pray about that. But we have to be so careful, guys. One human error can impact your life permanently. And I'm going to read to you, this is the reason that I'm saying that. A girl died after taking a sip of a Costa Coffee hot chocolate. She just took a sip. This young girl, orders a chocolate, hot chocolate from this place, takes a sip, and immediately passes away. And it's like, are you serious? Like, this is how vulnerable we are, okay? This is why, I always think about people who have food allergies, right? I don't, I don't think I ever experienced that. Like, to be, I know some people have allergy to like seafood and things like that, dairy, people who are allergic to peanuts and things like that, right? I never, like, I don't have a food allergy. I do have medication allergies, but we're all different, right? But it's just, I always wonder the people that have food allergies, like, how do they go about going to a restaurant? And I also thought about this, like, how do people with food allergy deal with, even like dealing with going through school years, right? Having school lunches, or like being close to somebody who's eating something that they perhaps might be allergic to. The padlock at work, the airplane food, like it's just, food is so available, right? Thanks be to God. I know not every country is like that, but it's like we're so vulnerable, and I always wonder, like, people who deal with food allergy, maybe one day they'll forget that they have it, and then they might eat something, like, it's that constantly in their mind, like they always have to think about that, right? Because food is such a thing of the human life that we're always, if we have, hey, let's get together and and do a Bible study, there's gonna be a snack or something. There's always gonna be food somehow. So I always think about people who are allergic to some type of food. How do they deal with that? Even ordering at a restaurant, like, you trust somebody enough, right? Like, I know people walk around with like little devices in case they get an allergy thing. I don't know what that's called, EpiPen or something like that. Um, but you still, like, you walk around with this thing that will save basically your life in case of an allergy that you may get. But you still go into restaurants and, like, especially these days when everybody's so distracted, like, I always thought about that. And like I said, it's not like I deal with any type of issue with food allergy, but it makes me wonder. So this young girl, 13 years old, she dies after having a sip of a Costa hot chocolate, okay? Hannah Jacobs, who had a dairy allergy, dies within hours of ordering a drink that was meant to be made with soya. A 13-year-old girl, the age tells you that, too young, right? Probably not, you know, too young and probably too trusting to think that how can they mess this order up, right? A 13-year-old girl with severe dairy allergy suffered an immediate reaction after a sip of a Costa Coffee hot chocolate that should have been made with soya. Hannah Jacobs of London was allergic to dairy products, and had opted for complete avoidance since she was a toddler. She died within hours of having the takeaway drink that her mother had ordered for her. Okay, and so the mom was the one who ordered it. I made sure the staff were aware of, and that was not a joke. She said she spoke with the staff, and she was straight with the staff and said, um, my daughter has a food allergy. They ordered the hot chocolate, and then the mom brings that, right? It says here, after arriving at the dentist, so they were at the dentist, the mom steps out to get the hot chocolate, and after going back to the office, after arriving at the dentist, a short walk away, Hannah abruptly, got up and went to the toilet shouting, "That was not soya milk." So the daughter, like, she immediately knew, right? I guess, right, 13 years old, she immediately, like, tasted it and immediately knew. That was not soya milk, she said. And she said her daughter's reaction happened quickly as she was coughing up phlegm and complained of chest pain. Hannah was rushed to a nearby chemist as her lips and mouth were swollen and she was itchy. My initial response was of anger at the Costa Coffee staff, said the mom, and the chemist and the pharmacy gave Hannah an EpiPen, that's the device I was talking about, injection in her leg after she collapsed. They called her, this is, I guess, during trial. They attempted to resuscitate her, and later continued by paramedics who arrived soon after they were called by a customer. The daughter had avoided eating milk, eggs, wheat, and fish to manage her allergies and was diligent about what she ate away from home. It's just so crazy, right? This is how your life can change so quickly, in an instant, right? Like I said, we're so vulnerable, and this is why I always say the best thing to be always have within you is a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, because we're so vulnerable. Like, life can change in an instant, right? So I this is like she had a very extreme allergic thing with dairy, and this is why it's hard to say, guys, but these days you have to be so alert, right? Because I mean, if people forget, you order food, guys. We go to drive-thrus, we go to order online, we order through the app, we gotta pick it up, and you put the notes. Make sure you put this in, and then you tell the person taking the payment, how can you add this in? Yes, we put it in. It's on your receipt and everything. Then you get that back. Then you drive home and they still don't have it. And you're like, what just happened? But it could have been just anything simple, right? But like, this is how everybody's so distracted these days. You have to be even more alert these days, guys. You cannot just trust that, you know, I don't even know how to explain it. I'm not trying to blame anybody here, um because you eventually think that everybody's gonna do their job, right? It's like when you go to the doctor's office and they say, okay, you're gonna take this medication or you're gonna do the other. You expect the doctor, like, they're gonna call in that thing so that when you show up to the pharmacy they have it. You know how many times that doesn't happen? And it's like, man, I'm waiting here in line. You get to the counter and like the doctor said, go right away to the pharmacy, and you get there and they don't have it. And it's like, what just happened? Everybody's so distracted. And we make mistakes, it's human error. So trusting somebody to think that they're gonna 100% take care of that food allergy that you may have. It's just, you know, not in this era. I think, we all make mistakes and all of that, but things like this we're gonna see even more because everybody's just on their phone all the time, right? And like I said, this whole idea of, well, that's not my job, if you want to be, 100% secure, you shouldn't be ordering food out or something, or why don't you just get a water, right? That's that's the whole mentality these days. And like I think what I'm referring to is that previous video that I made about the dentist office, right? And how they were reading a cancer patient diary. That's the type of workforce that we're seeing these days. Because, you could be like, man, but I'm not like that. Yeah, but you work with 10 other people, right? That might be doing their job wrong, right? Or they're careless. Or they don't care if somebody is going to be impacted, They don't care if you're taking the whole day from work and, to go to that appointment and they cancel and while you're driving over there. And they're like, oops, I'm sorry, we never put you in the schedule. So like, who cares? Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's the thing. Like, just deal with it basically. And it's just, there's such a lack of respect. You see it. You see it, the way people are talking to you, like when you go to stores. Obviously, guys, it doesn't happen everywhere. But you see it, right? Even if you're giving them, you're showing up to their store, you're giving them business, and it's just, there's like this disrespect, and carelessness, that you can encounter. Like I said, not everywhere. Now I'm like, I did went the other day to this store and like everybody helped me. Like I normally don't ask for help, but like everybody that I encounter, right, that I even asked them a question, they was just so willing. Like I said, it doesn't happen anywhere. I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned that. But when it comes to, like, when you're shopping for things, that's different. When it comes to ordering something and putting, and hoping that, man, I hope they don't get it wrong. And that's something that if they get it wrong, man, that will impact your life significantly. We cannot do that anymore. I'm sorry, but we cannot trust it like that. We cannot trust it like that. People are distracted. Okay. It's just, it's so crazy. So, it's a sad news. This happened though. She died in 2022, February in 2022. And I can only imagine the guilt that the mom felt because she was the one who ordered that drink. Like I said, these days we cannot expect that people are just, that they're gonna, because everybody's on their phones, we cannot really like lean and think we can hope 100%. But this girl is so sad, but I mean, she immediately knew. She immediately tasted that drink, and she just tasted it, and it gave her such a big reaction that to the point that it took her life. Like I said, I don't it's almost like I admire how people handle that, living with like food allergy, because food is such a common thing, and like I said, you are exposed to it everywhere, right? Everybody, when you go visit people, when you encounter people, when you're gathering in school, everywhere, like there's always some type of refreshment or snacks being handed. So I always wonder like how people deal, like that has to be in their mind constantly, right? What they're allergic to. So if you guys, if listening to this or like watching on YouTube, if you deal with some type of food allergy, give some tips of what it is that you do when you go to restaurants when it comes to like ordering food like that. Um, or like, how do you deal like throughout your life? Do you had any like, you know, or up to the point like close to an emergency, but you were able to catch it before it happened? Let me know any stories that you might have. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Have a good day. God bless.